Hello everyone, good afternoon, welcome to the session. Hope I am live now and clearly audible to all of you. So this is the session for CAT 2023. So you can see it in the description of the video 0 to Zenith Batch ratio and its applications. So I'm starting with this module ratio and this will be a series of some 5-6 sessions where we'll try and understand this ratio and its applications. It's just not one chapter. Ratio, proportion and continuous proportion, direct inverse variation, and followed by mixtures and allegation questions. Everything falls under that because ratio is like a foundation chapter in the quantitative aptitude portion. So in this series of the next 5-6 sessions, I'll be covering this module properly. Okay. So if you would be watching this for the first time, do like the session and subscribe to the Unacademy CAT-alyst channel. 2023 aspirants के लिए mainly ये session है. Percentage and ratio. If you look at these two chapters, broadly these two chapters are like cornerstones of arithmetic. You read SICI, you read profit loss and discount, time speed distance, time and work. In a way, some sort of or the other, you'll see a percentage coming into use or ratio coming into use. Ratio यहाँ पे mixture allegation पे भी extensive use of ratio. So defining it as only one chapter and इसको पढ़ लिया तो बाकी chapters से वो linked नहीं है. That's a very wrong way to look at it. So that is why it is very important if you're starting your preparation at this point, you should be very fundamentally strong in this chapter. Okay. So without further delay, let us begin. Once again, welcome you all and good afternoon. So this is just a brief introduction of my profile. You can get all these details in the description of the video. You'll get my profile link and all the links for Unacademy subscription. You can unlock all my free classes like on the Unacademy platform. If you want to join me for my live classes, you can unlock all the special classes for free if you are using this code DASLive and you are a first user and you haven't registered yourself on the Unacademy platform yet. So lots of free content, you can find it every day in form of live classes, recorded classes and everything. So use this code and you can unlock all free classes. Very happy to share these results with you. CAT 2022 toppers. 75 plus people have got more than 99 percentile and 110 people have got more than 98 percentile. So very good results and hope all 2023 aspirants will take motivation and inspiration from these results. Hope to see your names in this list next year. Now this is Unacademy CAT 2023 scholarship test. Okay, UCST. And these are the 2 dates in which the scholarship test is going to happen, 12 to 1 p.m. and this is what you are going to get. Rank 1 to 5 100% scholarship, rank 6 to 25 50% scholarship, 25 to 50 30% and so on. Okay, so this is what you are going to get. So participate on the Unacademy CAT 2023 scholarship test. So if you are planning for a subscription, do go with the test and see what discount you can get, and then you can use this code and get a 10% discount also in general on your plus and iconic subscription. Now this batch January 5th से ये start हुआ 0 to Zenith Batch. These are the USPs of the batch and ये perfect score batch for repeaters. January 16th से ये start हो रहा है. So without further delay, चलो let us start. What is ratio? In this session we'll try and understand what is ratio. Okay, ratio बोलने पे what do we understand? What is ratio and इसको कैसे समझना चाहिए so that we can solve questions. You would have seen this to be written A is to B. This is what we typically represent as a ratio A is to B. A is to B is nothing but it is A by B. Or I can write A parts out of B parts. तो क्या मतलब है ऐसा बोलने का? A parts out of B parts या A by B या A is to B. So basic, if I look at this, ratio is a comparison tool. The first sense that it gives you is a comparison tool. It's a tool to compare. Immediate, there's a sense of comparison when you see any ratio. For an example, suppose I'll say there are 2 persons A and B and they have chocolates in the ratio 7:3. तो immediate it's a sense of comparison 7:3. तो देख के इतना तो पता चल ही रहा है that A has more number of chocolates as compared to B. 7:3 means A will have more chocolates. How else do we put it? So let us say the total number of chocolates, let's say it is 30. So I'll take let X be the common ratio. This is a very simple thing, all of us know this, but just for a few of people like them जो भूल गए होंगे थोड़ा बहुत उनके लिए I'm like just revising this. तो I'll take let X be the common ratio. ऐसा करते थे स्कूल में. तो A के पास है 7x and B will have 3x and total is 30. So we have 10x is equal to 30. That means x is equal to 3. Once you know x is equal to 3, so how much will A have? A will have 7 parts or 7x. So 7 into 3, A के पास है 21 and B is 3 into 3, it is having 9. A very typical fundamental example of how ratio works. Correct? Hello everyone, welcome to the session, all of you. Those of you are attending live, do like the session and subscribe to our channel and feel free to ask and interact in the chat section. So just some basics 2023 का session start कर रहे हैं and we are starting with this topic ratio. A is to B. So when we look at a ratio, the first thing that comes to our mind, it's a comparison tool. Basic, the meaning is it's a comparison tool. If I say 7:3, that means the first entity has 7 parts, second entity has 3 parts. जैसे A and B में अगर chocolate 7:3 ratio में, तो immediate देखते ही पता चल रहा है A is having more, B is having less. We can also put it in another way. That way A is to B, you can put it in another way. If I am writing 7:3, so total I have 10 parts now. So I can write A is 7 out of 10 parts and B is like 3 out of 10 parts. Okay. So concept अगर देखोगे सिर्फ रेशियो का इतना है, then comparison of ratios, applications of ratios, operations in ratios and all, that's a very vast topic. फिर proportion आएगा where you equate the ratios and all, but basic meaning of ratio is this. Okay. Now suppose I need to compare two ratios. Usually comparison of ratios में भी questions आते हैं. So comparison, suppose I'll take, there are two ratios A by B and C by D and I need to know which ratio is greater. So very simple rule, you just cross multiply and you do this AD minus BC. Now if AD minus BC you get it as less than 0, that means A by B will be less than C by D. If AD minus BC is equal to 0, that means A by B is equal to C by D. And if AD minus BC is greater than 0, then A by B is greater than C by D. Very simple steps. Very simple steps. Let us take an example and see. I'll have two ratios. Suppose I have 12 by 18 and I have 17 by, let us say, 24. Which one is greater अगर देखना चाहें? So you just multiply this. How much is 12 into 24? 24 into 12, I think 288 आएगा. And 18 into 17. 17 square 289, 299, 307, I think, sorry, 306. AD 12 into 24 minus BC 18 into 17. Now this is definitely negative. This implies 12 by 18 is less than 17 by 24. Very simple way to compare. There are other better ways also to compare, but फिलहाल एक मॉडल तो माइंड में रखो, then gradually we'll learn how to operate in ratios and all. Okay, so this is the first part of the ratio series. तो मैं ज़्यादा कुछ concept नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, just the definition of what is a ratio, how do you understand a ratio, एंड कंपैरिजन, यही दो कॉन्सेप्ट बस आई हैव टोल्ड नाउ। इसी को लेके हाउ डू यू सॉल्व क्वेश्चन, ओके, हाउ डू यू सॉल्व क्वेश्चन जस्ट यूजिंग दिस मच, जो इतना पढ़े, जस्ट यूजिंग दिस मच, हाउ डू यू सॉल्व क्वेश्चन। Now this might sound a little bit weird, but the whole point of reading the ratio chapters, while you take like examples to solve, or when you are solving questions, the entire agenda of reading the chapter ratio is to avoid ratios. Avoid ratios as in, when you are solving a ratio question, you should assume in such a way that you will avoid ratios. That is the main purpose of this chapter. Okay, you have to try and think of it in a way that if जैसे हम क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करते हैं, हम अज्यूम कर लेते हैं लेट इट बी एक्स, लेट इट बी वाई, लेट इट बी 100, ऐसा करके अज्यूम करते हैं जब क्वेश्चन करते हैं। तो इफ अजम्पशन इज इन आवर हैंड्स, अज्यूम ही कर रहे हैं, तो व्हाई नॉट अज्यूम इन सच ए वे दैट इट विल मेक योर लाइफ इजियर। You will get the answer much more conveniently. You don't have to deal a lot with fractions. Easy numbers में, integers में तुम्हारा solving हो जाएगा, and you don't have to solve complicated fractions and all. Because obviously दो simple numbers integers add करना easy रहता है as compared to if I am supposed to add two fractions. So I'll assume in such a way that I'll avoid ratios. Okay. So this is something that you have to keep in mind. Assumption. How do you assume values? And ratio has got different types of questions. डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ क्वेश्चन, जैसे एज बेस्ड क्वेश्चन है, एज बेस्ड क्वेश्चन है, ओके, इनकम एक्सपेंसेस बेस्ड क्वेश्चन है, ओके, देन बैक ट्रेसिंग क्वेश्चंस वेर यू लाइक रिवर्स ट्रेस, वो रिवर्स ट्रेसिंग या बैक ट्रेसिंग बोलते हैं, जहाँ पे एंड से शुरू करते हैं, ऐसा करके डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ क्वेश्चन है। आई विल ग्रेजुअली कवर देम, डोंट वरी टू मच अबाउट दैट, gradually I'll cover these portions, but this is what it is all about. Ratio, only ratio. I'm not taking you to any other area of ratio, just only ratio. फर्स्ट सेशन है, एकदम बेसिक से कर रहे हैं टू मेक यू अंडरस्टैंड। तो जो लोग मैथ्स बहुत दिन से पढ़े भी नहीं हो, विल डेफिनेटली फाइंड दिस एक्सट्रीमली इजी। कुछ भी ज्यादा हम मैथमेटिकल चीजें यहाँ पे कुछ भी नहीं किए, सिंपल मल्टीप्लीकेशन एंड ऑल, दैट इज इट, मल्टीप्लीकेशन, सब्ट्रैक्शन, एंड दैट इज इट। लेट्स टेक अ लुक एट दिस एग्जांपल. Okay, this is one of the examples which can explain us the ratio topic in a very beautiful way. Now, a sum of money was supposed to be distributed between A and B in the ratio 3:5. What is the sum of money? We don't know. So it was supposed to be distributed between A and B in the ratio 3:5. Instead, it got divided between A, B and C. दो लोगों में distribute होने जा रहा था, but it got divided between three people, A, B and C, in the ratio 6:5:4. Now due to this, A got extra rupees 3,000. So find the loss incurred by B due to this change. Now what you do is, natural way forward in this question is, we'll assume let the sum of money be X. A lot of people assume that. There's nothing wrong in it. But instead of assuming it as X, I'll not take it as X. Rather what I'll do is, I'll study the ratio. 3:5 means total here, the sum of money initially it was supposed to be divided into total 8 parts. पहले वो money को 8 parts में break करता है. A will take 3 parts, B will take 5 parts. And now the same sum of money is getting divided into how many parts? Now 15 parts. So what I'll do is, I'll take the LCM of 8 and 15, which is 120. So I'll take, let the sum of money be 120x. समझ रहे हो? This is what is the learning from ratio chapter. I could have taken it as x, but I am taking it as 120x. Hello Srijit, good afternoon. What is my class timing? See देखो, ये जो रेशियो का सीरीज है, ये 4 PM को ही होगा आज है, देन नेक्स्ट फ्रॉम फ्राइडे ऑनवर्ड्स 4 PM पे ही चलेगा ये सारे सेशंस ऑन यूट्यूब. एंड मेरा अरिथमेटिक कोर्स आज से स्टार्ट हो रहा है ऑन द अनअकैडमी प्लेटफॉर्म, विच इज ऑन मंडे, वेंसडे एंड फ्राइडे 8:30 to 10 PM इवनिंग. ओके, दीज आर द 2 टाइमिंग्स क्लासेस के. बाकी स्पेशल क्लासेस अनअकैडमी प्लेटफॉर्म पे डे टाइम पे रहते हैं, बट यूट्यूब का ये जो 2023 क्लासेस है वो मंडे से फ्राइडे होगा 4 PM को. But today, then next class we'll have on Thursday and then Friday. Tuesday and Wednesday नहीं है class, but usually 4 PM is the time. एंड अनअकैडमी का कोर्सेस मेरा 8:30 to 10 PM मंडे वेडनेसडे फ्राइडे. Okay, so I hope all of you got an idea. Hello Devanshu, good evening, good evening. Instead of taking it as x, I took it as 120x. Now because अगर assume ही कर रहे हैं, why not assume something which will make our calculation easier? Now how does it make it easier? Let's see that. I'll take 3% A, B and C. So the initial distribution was supposed to be this, that this 120x, the total 120x was supposed to be divided into 8 parts. This implies one part was supposed to be 15x, out of which A will get 3 parts, that is 45x, and B will get 5 parts, that is 75x. This is what it was supposed to happen. Okay, the first sentence, a sum of money was supposed to be distributed between A and B in the ratio 3:5. But what happened is, final distribution, rather than 45:75, it became something like this. A total 120x was divided into 15 parts. So if you break 120x into 15 parts, so each part is now 8x, out of which A is getting 6 parts, so 6 into 8, A is receiving 48x. B is 5 parts, so 5 into 8, 40x. And C is 4 parts, so 4 into 8, 32x. Initially, C was not receiving anything because total money was divided between A and B, but now A, B and C are. Now due to this, look at what happened. A was supposed to receive 45x, but now A is getting 48x. So how much is A getting extra? 45x and 48x, difference is 3x, which in the question is given as 3000 rupees. That means x is basically 1000 rupees. Once you know x, now the question is easy. That what is the loss incurred by B due to this change? So B was supposed to get 75x, but now B is getting 40x. So B lost 35x, which is 35,000 rupees. I am not saying that this is the only way you can solve this. यहाँ पे instead of 120x, if you would have taken only x also, you would have got the same answer. Answer में कोई गलत नहीं होता, same answer आता. But then now imagine what would have happened. यहाँ पे मेरा जो 45/75 आया, you would have got a 3/8x, 5/8x, and similarly 6/15, 5/15, 4/15, and then you would have to subtract those fractions. So fractions computation is a little lengthier as compared to integers. It's not difficult, but I'll say 45 minus 35, and I'll say 1/35 minus 1/45. Which one is easier? Obviously computation with integers. So if that is the case, I'll make my initial assumption in such a way that I'll avoid ratios altogether. Nowhere in the question throughout I'll get a ratio, and that is a very important learning in the ratio chapter itself. How did I come to this assumption? Just by looking at what ratios are given. 3:5, 8 parts, 6:5:4, 15 parts. So 8 and 15 LCM is 120, so I assume that the total sum of money to be 120x. I hope it makes sense, all of you. ये समझ आया सबको? हाँ या ना? Let me know in the chat section. Are all of you able to understand this? How did we solve this? It's a simple question. I am not saying this is the only way. You can solve it in any way you want, but this is just a learning. Okay, आगे जाके when you are solving questions, you will see LCM coming into use a lot of times. LCM coming into use because it will make our calculation and the understanding of question more convenient. ठीक है? Sorry. Let's take a look at this question. A 3-digit number is such that the number itself is divisible by its sum of digits. I'll take let the 3-digit number. Let it be ABC, and ABC is divisible by A plus B plus C. Okay. Number is divisible by the sum of digits. Now the sum of the hundreds and the units digit. Again it is given A plus C is equal to 6. While the sum of the tens and the units digit, B plus C is equal to 5. So we have been given two relations. So what is the ratio of the unit digit and tens digit? So we'll have to figure out what the number is. कैसे calculate करेंगे? You pick any one relation. Suppose I am taking this one. I have A, B and C. So if I take A as 1, A, B, C are digits essentially. A, B and C are digits. So if you take A as 1, A plus C is 6, so C has to be 5. And B plus C is 5, so B has to be 0. If A is 2, then C is 4. And if C is 4, B is 1. क्योंकि B plus C भी 5 है. A is 3, C is 3 and C is 3, B is 2. A is 4, C is 2 and this is 2, this is 3. A5, C1, if C is 1, B is 4. And A6, C is 0. And if C is 0, B is 5. I cannot take A as 0 because if A is 0, it's not a 3-digit number in the first place. So these are my possible numbers. So what are the possible numbers? Let me write it down here. Possible numbers are 105, then 214, then 323, then 432, 541, and then 650. But out of this, which one is my possibility? It is saying that the numbers are divisible by the sum of digits. So 105, sum of the digits is 6, not divisible. 214, and the sum of the digits is 7. Yeah, not divisible. 323, and the sum of the digits is 8, not divisible. 432, 4 plus 3, 7, plus 2, 9. I think this is divisible. 9, 4 is 36, and 72, 9. ये divisible हो रहा है. 541 divided by 11, 10. 5 plus 4 plus 1, 10. Again not divisible. 541 is not divisible. तो इसी condition को use करके we could eliminate everything. And 650, sum of the digits is 11, not divisible. Hence we got, okay, our number is basically 432. And if you got the number, then we got this, that what is the ratio of unit and tens digit? So what is the unit digit here? 2. And what is the tens digit here? 3. The ratio is 2:3. Unit digit to tens digit is 2:3. Okay. Mrinal, explain what kind of questions would come in CAT from ratio. Standalone ratio mein Mrinal, right now whatever we solved, you can expect something similar in the exam. Also applications of ratio can be in other chapters. TSD may be ratio ka application hai. Average mixture allocation also you have ratio applications. So gradually in subsequent sessions I'll cover the application based questions of ratio. Now this is also one like question where you can say numbers and ratio are kind of combined. Okay, so don't treat ratio as only one standalone chapter. So it is related to all other chapters as well. So the more number of questions we solve, the more idea we get, okay, how is this tool used across questions. Okay, but this question right now is something you can very well expect in the exam as well. Okay, and I have 3-4 more questions. All are CAT level questions. You can see them. Hope all of you got an idea what is ratio and how do we solve this question. Very, very, very simple question. Very simple question in this. Let us come to this one. Sachin bought 1.5 kg fresh grapes. 1.5 kg of fresh grapes. And in those fresh grapes, the ratio of water to pulp was 4:1. Water to pulp is 4:1. So 1.5 kg of fresh grapes. And in those fresh grapes, you have water and you have pulp, means the fruit part. And water to pulp, the ratio is 4:1. So 4 parts water, 1 part pulp. So I can say total 5 parts is now 1.5 kg. This implies 1 part is 0.3 kg. So I can easily say, okay, pulp is 0.3 kg, whereas water is like 1.2 kg. This is the composition of fresh grapes. Now, when his naughty child crushed these grapes, so when you crush the grapes, what will change? Then some water got wasted. Well, the water part is coming out, but the fruit part will remain as it is. Now the ratio of the water to pulp is 3:2. Now don't imagine something that is not like described in the question. You can also argue fruit भी तो waste हुआ जब crush हो गया. Let's assume it in a way that क्योंकि question में लिखा है water get wasted, तो only water is getting wasted. Pulp part is not getting wasted. So after crushing, you are left with something where the ratio of यहाँ पे जो suppose whatever is left we call it as nu. So in this ratio of water to pulp, यहाँ पे water to pulp is 3:2. So 3 parts to 2 parts. But think about this. Pulp पहले भी जितना था, right now it is also still the same quantity wise. Maybe its ratio has changed, but quantity wise it is still the same. So I'll take it as 0.3 kg. So now if 2 parts is 0.3 kg, I will get one part is like 0.15 kg. If one part is 0.15 kg, 3 parts will be like 0.45 kg. So total this new after crushing 1.5 kg of fresh grapes, I am left with 0.75 kg of grapes. So that means initially I had 1.5, now I have 0.75. तो ये जो difference create हुआ 0.75 kg. What is this difference? This is the amount of water wasted, isn't it? So what is the total amount of the crushed grapes? वो तो आ ही गया, ये तो पूछ नहीं रहा है. But 0.75 kg जो new, this is crushed grapes. Is this making sense to all of you? Yes or no? People attending this live, are you able to understand this? काफी simple question and you can expect some similar level of questions in the exam. Exact question तो कोई predict कर ही नहीं सकता. But this is a simple idea that uh, I have pulp and I have water and change होने के बाद भी pulp water ही है. But how much water is wasted, or what is the quantity of the new mixture, or what is the quantity of crushed grapes in this context? So you equate the part that is like constant. Okay, there can be multiple ways of solving this, but I just explained you one of the methods. Hope it is clear. Pulp part is constant, so I equated that and then I got the answer easily. Okay, let us go to the next one. There are two vessels A and B containing 25 liters each of pure milk and pure water respectively. So there are two vessels. This is vessel A which has pure milk, and this is another vessel B which has pure water, and both the vessels are 25 liters each. 5 liters of milk is taken and poured into B, and 6 liters. तो पहले A से मैं B में pour कर रहा हूँ, step 1. 5 liters from A, तो minus 5 liters from A, and then 5 liters is poured from A to B. So now what is the resultant in A? A has 20 liters of pure milk, whereas in B I have 25 liters of water. अभी और pure water तो नहीं रहा, and the 5 liters of milk. So this is what is the resultant after first step, that तुम 5 लीटर A से लेके B में डाल रहे हो. काफी simple है. Then the next step, I am taking out 6 liters of the mixture from B. Now what is the ratio in this container B? After step 1, if you look at container B has total 30 liters. जहाँ पे water and milk are in the ratio, water is 25 liters and milk is 5 liters. So they are in the ratio 5:1. So in the second step, 6 liters is taken from B. Now, when you are taking out 6 liters from B, can you selectively take out water or selectively take out milk? No. It is already a mixture. So when you take it out also, it will come in the form of the mixture. And water and milk दोनों इसमें बाहर आएंगे. But uniformly आएंगे. So in whichever ratio they are present, they will come out in that ratio only. So they are present in the ratio 5:1. So water and milk will come out in the ratio 5:1 as well. So the 6 liter that you are removing, 5 liters of water is removed and 1 liter of milk is removed. So that means B may resultant, I had total 25 liters of water, 5 liters of water is removed. So I have now 20 liters of water. And in B you had 5 liters of milk, 1 liter is removed. So I have 4 liters of milk. And in B I can say I have 24 liters of the mixture. And what happens to A? I had 20 liters of milk. A में I have 20 liters of milk. Wait a second. ये जो 6 liters you took out from B, you are pouring it in A. So A had 20 liters of milk and next जो B से तुम 1 liter of milk है. Now A has 21 liters of milk. Plus this 5 liters of water also goes to A. So there is 26 liters of mixture in A. So this is the resultant. पूरा step by step बस read the question and proceed one step at a time. There are better ways to do this. Gradually we will learn जब allegation वगैरह पढ़ेंगे. But right now it's a very simple question. Just read the question as it is and then gradually proceed. So question end में it is asking what is the ratio of water in A and B respectively. So what will be my answer? Water in A and B respectively. So the ratio is equal to 5:20 or 1:4. That is the answer. Such simple question. So whenever you are starting to read a chapter, okay, there would be a lot of people जिनके लिए बहुत ही convenient होगा and you'll find these questions absolutely easy to solve. So it's not for them that I'm advising so much. You can follow any method you want. If you're comfortable with such questions, just go ahead and solve more number of questions. But for those of you who find it a little difficult to understand in the beginning and you take some time to grasp the concept and you need a little more explanation, so for them I'm saying and explaining it in more detail so that you will gain some confidence and gain some interest in the chapter, because it is always all like about practice. The more you practice, the more your understanding of concepts can be, because every concept can be taught maximum in 30 minutes or 1 hour, let's say. उससे ज़्यादा concept क्या ही पढ़ेंगे. But reading the concept is not the end of it. Okay, the chapter will come into your hold if you practice more number of questions, more variety of questions. Whether a question is easy, difficult, moderate, that will depend on how many different questions you have solved. Okay, someone saying it's an easy question doesn't make it easy for you, obviously. और someone saying it difficult, maybe it will be easy for you. जो difficult बोल रहे हैं वो वैसे question पहले practice नहीं किए हैं, but you have solved something similar and you see then a similar question next to it, will be very easy for you in that case. Okay, so those of you who are just starting, focus on these concepts and start solving questions from your end. करो पहले questions, बैठो, अगर नहीं हो रहा है try and see क्यों नहीं हो रहा है, where is it going wrong for me, why am I not able to think. You have to take some interest from your end, only then things will improve. Let's take a look at this one. Question number 5. Another typical example of the ratio. An old man makes a will to divide his property among his wife and his 2 sons. So there are 3 people. Wife and let us say son 1 and son 2. Such that the wife gets half of the total amount received by sons. So I will write wife will get half of the total amount received by sons, or I can say son 1 plus son 2 is like twice of wife. His younger son, let us say son 2, is getting 1/3 of total received by his wife and elder son. So wife plus elder son is equal to 3 times son 2. So we get something important from these 2 conclusions. यहाँ पे आई कैन से ओल्ड मैन्स प्रॉपर्टी इज बेसिकली 3 पार्ट्स. तो सन 1 एंड सन 2 को 2 पार्ट्स मिल रहा है, वाइफ को 1 पार्ट मिल रहा है, तो आई कैन से वाइफ का डबल सन 1 का सन 2 को मिल रहा है. सन 3 का 3 टाइम्स वाइफ एंड सन 1 को मिल रहा है, सो आई कैन से ओल्ड मैन्स प्रॉपर्टी शुड बी 4 पार्ट्स ऑल्सो, क्योंकि जितना सन 2 को मिलेगा वाइफ एंड सन 1 आर टेकिंग 3 टाइम्स दैट, तो टोटल तो 4 पार्ट्स हो गए. This will give us the clue how do we assume the old man's property. So I'll take let total property instead of x, I'll take it as 12x. बहुत से लोग इसको ऐसे वेरिएबल ले लेते हैं, let us say wife का x, son 1 का y and son 2 का z. Do not take unnecessary variables. Look at this. I'll take let the total property to be 12x. Wife, son 1 and son 2. तो पहले son 1 and son 2 will have twice of what the wife has. तो इनको 2:1 रेशियो में तुम्हें ब्रेक करना है. So son 1 and son 2 will have 8x and wife will have 4x, and look, first equation is satisfied. That twice of what the wife has, son 1 and son 2 together will have that much. So wife का 4x इतना तो fix हो गया. Then thrice of what the son 2 has, wife and son 1 will have that much. So total 4 parts. तो son 2 का वहां से कितना आ गया ना 3x. So by that logic wife and son 1 का हो जाता है 9x. And because wife is already 4x, the son 1 is 5x. Now just think about this. कितना easily solve हो गया. Wife, son 1 and son 2. Wife is 4x, son 1 is 5x, son 2 is 3x. तो first equation जो था, grave question थोड़ा overhead हो गया. Okay, I'll repeat the grave question, Srijit. ये question के end में I'll again go back to that. कोई बात नहीं है. Anything you find it a little difficult, please feel free to ask. I'll repeat again. Now, wife is 4x, son 1 plus son 2 is 8x. So wife का twice, or son 1 and son 2, whatever they are getting, wife is getting half of what the two sons have received. And similarly 4x and 5x and 3x if you are taking, wife and son 1 total have got 9x, and uska 1/3 is what son 2 is getting. So both the statements are completely like in sync in this case. So if his wife gets 60,000 worth of property more than the youngest son, so how much is the wife getting? 4x. How much is the youngest son getting? 3x. And this is given as 60,000. So x is basically 60,000. So total property कितना आ गया? 12x. So 12 into 60,000. So 7,20,000 आ जाता है. So which is 7.2 lakhs. Is this making sense, all of you? 7.2 lakhs. Question is saying what is the total value of the property in lakhs of rupees? So 7.2 lakhs. ये समझ आया कैसे सॉल्व किया? How did I assume it to be 12x? This is the most important learning in the ratio part. How do you assume the value? That's the most important learning. क्योंकि रेशियो तो दे दिया 1/3, 1/2, हाफ, ये सब तो देता रहेगा, बट हाउ डू यू अज्यूम द टोटल रेशियो? लाइक टोटल प्रॉपर्टी यहाँ पे 12x है, जो पहला एग्जांपल किए थे 120x लेते. You will read the question and from there you will take the clue. Okay, how do I solve? I'll have to assume old man's property in such a way that it can be divided into 3 parts easily. It should also be divided into 4 parts easily. Okay, hope this is making sense to all of you. People attending this live, do like the session. If you haven't yet liked the session, do like the session, and please feel free to ask wherever you are not able to understand or you're finding something difficult. Please feel free to ask. I'll be very happy to repeat. Don't worry. So this is clear. Very standard question. Read the question very carefully and then start. कहीं पे lengthy होगा. And I said what's the wrong approach in this case. A lot of people might start in this way. Wife, son 1, son 2. Let the property they have received is A, B, and C respectively. And then you have unnecessarily assumed 3 variables, and it will be too lengthy to solve in that. So no need to go there. एक ही वेरिएबल x x x में ही सॉल्व हो जाएगा. We don't have to solve for 3 variables. Now Srijit, grave question. Let's go back to the grave question. So basically देखो यहाँ पे, let me repeat it here. You have fresh grapes. Okay. So fresh grapes, if I represent it in this way, let us say this box represents fresh grapes. So this part is water and this part is pulp, जो कि fruit part है grape का, and ये water part है. The moment you crush them, तो जब crush करते हो water gets removed. But I can say the pulp part is constant. Water remove हो गया, but जो pulp part था वो तो constant है. तो ये fresh grapes कितने kg का था ना? Fresh grapes was 1.5 kg. इसमें बोला था कि water and pulp is 4:1. तो ये 4 parts, ये 1 part. So total 5 parts was 1.5 kg. So 1 part was 0.3 kg. So pulp was 0.3 kg and water was 1.2 kg. Now when I'm crushing the grapes, water is gradually getting removed. But pulp part fixed है, तो pulp जो 0.3 kg है, that is not going to change. Water 1.2 kg is going to reduce. So reduce हो गया. And after crushing the grapes, I am getting this new composition जहाँ पे फिर से pulp होगा and फिर से water होगा. Not all water is removed, some water is removed. Now the pulp that you have now is also same, because pulp तो remove नहीं हुआ, water remove हुआ है. तो pulp पहले भी 0.3 kg था, अभी भी 0.3 kg. But water अभी कितना है हमें पता नहीं, but that is what we will figure out. Question is saying in the crushed grapes, the ratio of water to the pulp is 3:2. That means water 3 parts है, so pulp 2 parts है. So if 2 parts correspond to 0.3 kg, तो 1 part कितना होगा? 0.15 kg. तो 3 parts कितना हो जाएगा? 0.45 kg. तो टोटल यहाँ पे कितना क्रश ग्रेप्स हो गया? 0.75 kg. दैट मीन्स पहले तुम्हारे पास 1.5 kg था, अब तुम्हारे पास 0.75 kg है. वाई? बिकॉज 0.75 kg ऑफ वाटर गॉट रिमूव्ड. इज दिस मेकिंग सेंस नाउ? अजीत अभी क्लियर है? तो वाटर 0.57 kg रिमूव होके द क्रश्ड ग्रेप्स क्वांटिटी इज सेम एज 0.75 kg. All right. So these are some questions that will give you a preliminary idea of what ratio is all about. I didn't discuss any extra concept, just what is ratio and comparison of ratios, and how do you assume values when you are solving a question. So this ratio series will continue at 4 p.m. So coming session is on Thursday. Then Monday to Friday रहेगा 4 p.m. को CAT 2023 के classes. So those of you would be joining me for the first time. These are my timings. So this is a GDPI batch, Aspire and Inspire GDPI Award batch for 2022 aspirants. So 10th January से start हो रहा है, you can join tomorrow. So that is it from my end for this session. Thank you all. And these are plus and iconic subscription features. So depending on the plus and iconic subscription feature, you can compare and take whichever subscription you want. You can use this code and get a 10% discount. And also Unacademy Lite subscription. Okay, it is a special launch price अभी है 999 में, where you get 10 full length mock text, 4 full length mock tests from OMTs, other management interest tests, 25 sectional tests, and practice question bank of 25,000 plus questions. So nothing better than this. 25,000 questions you will get just for 999 price. Okay, so all of you can take this subscription also. जो लोग मान लो यू आर रीडिंग समवेयर एल्स और सेल्फ स्टडी भी कर रहे हो, जस्ट सिंपल 999 का पैक ले सकते हो एंड यू कैन गेट दिस. सो यूज माय कोड. एंड अगर मॉक टेस्ट सीरीज एंड क्वेश्चंस प्रैक्टिस के लिए तुम सोच रहे होगे, तो rather than buying 2-3 separate books, you can just take this and you'll get all good questions with solutions, video solutions and doubt clearing on one platform itself. So very useful. So visit the links provided in the description of the video. So that is it from my end for this session. Thank you all for joining. Hope you guys like the class. Do subscribe to the CAT-alyst channel and like the video, share it with your friends, and we'll meet again in the next part of this video, ratio and its applications part 2. Till then, keep studying and have a nice day. Bye bye.